People with sociopath friends. Why are you friends with them? I met Alex during my first year of college. We were both taking Psychology 101, and he was the quiet guy who always sat in the back corner. One day, he approached me after class and said, "Your analysis of that case study was incorrect, but I found your reasoning fascinating." It was an odd compliment, but it sparked a conversation that lasted for hours. 3 months into our friendship, Alex told me he had antisocial personality disorder. He explained it clinically, like he was discussing someone else's medical history. I don't process emotions like you do. I understand them intellectually, but I don't feel them the same way. I remember asking, "So you're a sociopath?" He smiled slightly. "That's the colloquial term, yes. Does that bother you?" It should have, but it didn't. By then, I'd seen how meticulously Alex treated his relationships. He remembered everyone's birthdays, preferences, and dislikes, not because he cared inherently, but because he valued the structure these connections provided. "You're one of the most considerate people I know," I told him honestly. "Why would your diagnosis change that?" Over the years, I've watched Alex navigate life with a rule book that others develop instinctively. When my mom died, he showed up at my door with groceries and said, "I researched grief protocols. You need to eat, even if you don't feel hungry." He stayed for 2 weeks, cooking meals I barely touched and cleaning my apartment while I stared at walls. One night, I found him studying a list titled "Appropriate Responses to Friends' Parental Death." "Is this how you decide how to act around me?" I asked, feeling strangely hurt. Alex looked at me directly. "I want to support you correctly. I don't naturally know how, but none of it's real," I argued. "You're just following a script." "No," he replied thoughtfully. "The actions are real. The effort is real. Does motivation matter more than result?" That question has defined our friendship. Alex chooses to be kind, loyal, and supportive, not from emotional impulse, but from a deliberate decision that these qualities make him valuable to others. Sometimes I catch glimpses of the coldness beneath, like when he calmly described how he could ruin a colleague who'd betrayed him professionally. "I won't do it," he said, noticing my expression. "It would damage relationships I prefer to maintain, but I could." People often ask why I remain friends with someone who admits he doesn't truly care about me. They don't understand that Alex does care, just differently. He's chosen me as someone worth his time and effort. In some ways, that deliberate choice feels more meaningful than friendships based on emotional compatibility. Last year, when I was going through a rough breakup, Alex said something I'll never forget. We were sitting on my balcony, and I was crying about how I'd never find someone who truly loved me. "I've studied love extensively," he said, handing me another tissue. "From what I understand, it's largely chemical reactions and social conditioning. But people choose who to direct those feelings toward, even if they don't realize it." He paused. "I can't feel love the way you describe it, but I choose to prioritize your well-being over most others." Isn't that essentially the same outcome? It wasn't, not really, but it was genuine in its own way.